I'm here at Startup Fest 2025 in Montreal, Canada, and Quebec and Canadian companies keep fleeing to the south. So I'm speaking to Nectar Economakis, the partner at Amiral Ventures, a fund that focuses on enterprise AI and industrial tech, to see if keeping those specialties where there is that expertise in that ecosystem keeps companies in Canada and building there. So without further ado, my conversation with Nectar. Nectar, thank you for coming on our little vignette. Why don't you tell us who you are and what you do?
So my name is Nectar. I am starting a new venture capital fund with two partners, Fred and Dom, called Amiral Ventures. And we hope to invest in cool Canadian companies.
So, you know, do you have a thesis? How big is a fund? What stage are you investing in? Do you only speak French to companies, whether they like it or not?
Oui, allez. So I'll give you the 3 second and the 30 seconds. So the 3 second is, seed to Series A, enterprise AI, first close of 40 million is at the end of the summer, we hope. It's a moving target.
Yeah.
And then we hope to get to 75 within a year after. And across the entire country, we think there's good founders in every single province. And and then enterprise AI is I know it's a buzzword, but essentially, B2B technologies, we look at two broad areas: productivity, sustainability. Okay. So we like technologies like vertical AI. We did one investment in a company called Maxa last year.
Okay.
Really cool Montreal company. And then the other area we like is industrial software. It's how do you make real shit in the economy? In essence, right? So supply chain, robotics, IoT. We think there's a lot of opportunity in that area too.
It's interesting too, because just to be a little sausage makery about it for a second, who are the LPs? Are the LPs we want enterprise AI? Did you find like-minded people, or are they just no, we trust you and your where are you raising the money from?
Well, I think to build a business, right? I think any business, you need to have your own strategy, right? It's not the LPs that are dictating, hey, have you thought of no? So it's our expertise.
Yes.
I think what's resonated the most is the mission that we're trying to accomplish. There's a supply and demand imbalance in Canada that there's not enough money and there's too many good companies.
Right.
There's a few good funds. I know a lot of the good GPs here, but what ends up happening is that the best companies end up getting their rounds led in the US. And
yes.
A lot of the best people want that too. So the small dent that we're trying to make in the country is we want to lead the round, lead the C round or lead the A round. And the only way to do that for the best people is that you need to earn that right.
Yeah.
So you need to provide something of substance that people desire. Yeah. And that's not just fluff. It needs to be an actual value prop that founders desire. And because the best people are going to have options, right? So
well, that's what I was going to ask you, because it's an interesting time, to be raising a fund. There's the work that is being disrupted by artificial intelligence, but then there's venture capital that's being disrupted by artificial intelligence. And so the common complaint in the non-US ecosystem basically is a bunch of early stage money, and maybe there's late stage money, but it's the middle where everything goes to die. Is this an attempt to sort of address that?
100%. It's in our pitch deck.
Yeah,
it's totally in our pitch deck. So there's a big
Want me to write you a check?
So Rob is going to invest in
one Bitcoin. No. That's too much. I can't afford that. Again.
So we have you on record. Yeah, totally. There's a big gap in capital in the market. It just goes back to just not enough money overall.
Yeah. How do you just to be contrarian for a second, then we're want to talk about the ecosystem. You get friends and family, you invest in a round, you get bootstrapped to a point, and then you're cool, the next phase I need is $5-10 million. How do you stop? You're not stopping investors. How do you compete with other sources of capital? Because that's really what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
You're saying, don't take that American check, or as well take that American check. We have something to add to the universe.
Well, the dynamic that I'll speak to is what happens. It's this really good expression in French. I'll translate it.
Okay.
No one is a prophet in their own country.
Right.
Nul est prophète dans son pays. And what it means is basically it's when you come back with that US term sheet, then all of a sudden
everyone loves you. Right? That's true with everything and products, right?
And it's a bit of a shame here, but it's yes. I saw it. My partner Fred, he started a company called Nubo. His Series A was led here by a local fund, and then for his B, numbers up and to the right. There's no one interested. But as soon as he came back with the term sheet from California, then all of a sudden there's a bunch of follow-on.
Everyone loves
right?
It, yeah.
So that's the dynamic we're trying to counter is by leading the round, by being able to build our own conviction of is this a good company or not? we're going to hopefully play a small part in that, right?
Yeah.
Because when we lead around, then other people are going to be interested, right? Going back
Of
to
course.
the follow-on money isn't a problem once you have a lead, in essence.
Yes.
The same thing for what I've discovered for us is like as soon as we got our lead, our
Yes,
anchor,
yes.
then all of a sudden we're going to get a fund.
Yes, it's like those like Russian nesting dolls all the way back, and then the federal government is like, I guess we're the ones putting the first money in.
Yeah.
Okay, so what? And you said you've already made an investment, but you haven't closed, even though you haven't closed the fund.
Exactly.
But
So
you
the
can
way-
still do that.
We could do that. Yeah, it's called a warehouse deal. So it's in essence what we did is we just lent the money
Right.
with a few LPs as well. So it was our money. We're 3 GPs plus a few LPs.
Okay.
So we have one official deal inside of Amiral.
Yeah.
And then we have a second one coming in line with our closing. So we have a signed term sheet with a really cool founder and team. And we can't talk about that yet because it's not official. Because we need to
It's
get the
me,
money.
everyone. It's me. You can't say.
The joke I've been saying for a while is that we do venture but not capital because we
Yes.
don't have the capital just yet.
Right.
But it's like we're getting the capital soon. So.
Venture in quotes capital.
Yeah.
And then you should have a cake when you get it. Just get rid of the quotes. Just like eat the quotes.
Yeah.
Okay, so talk about the system. You've been in this ecosystem, in the Montreal, Quebec ecosystem for a long time. I found that like it is its own beast compared to the rest of Canada. Not that Canada's homogeneous to the rest of Canada, but it's its own beast. What do you see here? We're in the summer of 2025. We're at Startup Fest. Are there any patterns that you're seeing about what makes this ecosystem unique, or the kinds of companies that you're seeing?
That's a good question. I don't know if I don't think I'll have a good answer in terms of uniqueness.
Okay, well,
per
thanks for
se.
coming. I appreciate it.
What I can speak to, I think it's true in a lot of ecosystems in the country, is that we have really good people. We have great AI talent.
Yes.
Like in Montreal, we have this thing called Mila that you're familiar with. In Toronto, there's another
Vector.
AI lab, and as well as in Edmonton. So it's like we have this like insane AI talent coming out every single year.
Yeah.
And the issue is that these people get poached, for insane salaries.
Yeah.
Down south.
$100
right?
million.
So we have a leaky bucket problem that's not unique to this province.
Yeah.
I think what's unique to this province, and we do have more institutional funds that do invest in venture
Yeah.
versus other provinces. I think a person to interview on this is probably better is Matt Roberts. You can speak to this a little bit better than I can.
Yes.
But we actually a good thing about Quebec in particular, there's quite a bit of VC dollars.
Yeah.
We went to Calgary a few weeks ago, or I would say 2 months ago, for the Invest Canada conference.
Yeah.
And I was speaking with other emerging managers over a drink, kind of like bemoaning, hey, what's going on? And I was like, their first fund close was like 5 million. And they're like, that's what we did. It took us 2 years, just like, us,
Yeah.
it would have taken us 2.5, 3 years.
Yeah.
And it's just like, there's not any money out there.
Right.
So despite the fact that, well, yes and no, there is money. There's a lot of like private money, but there's no money in institutional funds for venture capital as an asset class, right? So that's maybe a little bit different. Like we actually have pretty good institutions here that believe in the category. So that's also one big difference.
And how do you see that manifesting itself in entrepreneurship? So you're right. There are these like any non-American country, Canada being no exception. It's like you've got a bunch of talent. Commercializing that talent is hard. We have Joshua Benjo at Mila. We theoretically have Jeffrey Hinton at Vector. So the brains behind what is the modern AI age. Yet we still have difficulty. We have the typical problem. We have very smart people who've come up with the solutions to things, and we don't commercialize those things. Is that like, how are you seeing, like, what is that path to victory? So like you've got some, I guess I'm trying to get just a sense of the zeitgeist of what's actually going on. Is that the problem that's trying to be solved? Like commercialize here, don't commercialize there? Because that's still a really, really hard problem, no matter how much money you throw at it.
It's a very like layered problem you're addressing, right?
Yeah, and you can answer it in 4 words or less,
Yeah.
I assume.
So can you do it in a haiku?
Yeah, exactly. Ooh, even better.
So you mentioned the talent problem of we need people that are able to run a business CEO, but also that can sell.
Yes.
That understands the technical side, and like that's really the key persona that's missing.
Yeah.
As someone that can run a company but can sell, but also deeply understands the technology side.
Right.
So that's a key thing. We get a lot of those people, but sometimes they leave, right? So there's a notion of keeping people here.
Yeah.
Now, the way I think about this problem is that I always start with the end in mind. Like, what is the ideal end state, and then work behind that. My ideal end state, and we could probably debate what's right or wrong, is that we just need way more bigger tech companies here.
Right.
We need there's one 200 billion market cap company.
Right.
We need 10 more easily.
Right.
So because if we have that and another 10 classic Shopify's, etc., well, that means is that we'll have a layer below of like 50 billion and another even bigger layer of 10 billion. So there'll be this whole extra set of companies, and now make it for a much more healthy, robust ecosystem. Because then the talent can stay here because they'll get pretty good salaries, right? Like the young people that aren't entrepreneurial, that just want a job, right? And don't go to California just for a job. They'll be able to stay here. So that's my end state of where we need to get to. It's going to take a while, but I think we start with the most important piece of the puzzle already here, which is the people.
Right.
So we have that. Now we need to keep them here and we need to give them money. So that's how I think about it.
That makes sense. Last question. So is there, I mean, you're betting on this particular thesis. Is there something that you're seeing in terms of the entrepreneurs that are up and coming in both Montreal, Quebec, Canada, that map to this? Like I'm assuming you're doing this based on the technology and obviously what's viable, but also based on the pattern of talent and what this country, city, state are good at. No?
Yeah. So it goes back to the people, right? Like the founder, I think, is the person, you know, that's obviously, you know, inventing something from their mind and putting it into play.
Right.
I think the cool trends that we're seeing is that there's a recognition that you don't want to chase VC dollars forever. It's a game that has bad endings.
Yes.
So being able to be more cost efficient, and I think it's in line with what's happening with the technology as well, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you're able to build at a much lower cost because the cost of software is dropping precipitously.
Yeah.
Which for me as an early stage investor is really exciting. I think you kind of asked that, like, is VC being disrupted? It's like, maybe at the C round it will be.
Yeah.
But you know, like at the early stage, not anytime soon. Not anytime soon. So that's what I'm really excited about. And there's a little bit of that more nationalistic flair that we're seeing.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're going to look at areas like defense that if I said that last year, LPs would have run out of the room.
Crazy. Yeah.
But now it's like, hey, like, why not? You know, so I think there's a lot more notion of how do we build a dynamic and resilient economy?
Yeah.
And I think we have a lot of founders that coming from the industrial side or our natural resource side, we could build stuff that sells into these areas, but guess what? These technologies can be exported everywhere, right?
Yeah.
So we could build global champions in these sectors. At least, again, I'm navel gazing at our thesis, but that could sell everywhere in the world.
Yeah, it makes sense. Well, okay. So if people want to check out Amiral, where do they go?
Find us on the internet. So amiral.vc is our website, LinkedIn, Twitter. We're very present.
And your podcast.
I don't have a podcast, so I'm going to plug it. And yeah, our belief is a rising tide lifts all boats. Amiral in French means flagship. That's the translation. Okay. So we're trying to build big tech flagships, but we're not trying to do it alone. We really believe in this notion of community, building together, and going back to a rising tide.
We'll talk to you in a year and see what happens. Thanks for coming on the show.
A pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my newsletter in the description below, and see you next time.